Hey kiddos, today we are going to do an optical illusion. It looks like the squares are going down into the picture, that it looks like these are on top and these little squares are at the end of a hallway. I did get this optical illusion from a website that I will tag, but there's no there are no measurements on there. So we're gonna slow it down and make this into the beautiful projects that I would like you to do. So my square is 7.5 inches. These lines are about a 1/2 inch each. So to do that, our paper is 8.5 inches wide. So 8.5 minus 7.5 is 1. Divide that in half is a half. So 0.5 on that side, and 8.5 minus a half is 8. Then I measure again, line that ruler up. 1/2 inch here, 8 over here. So I am right-handed. I always draw on the right side of my ruler. Then my fingers don't get in the way. Hold your ruler as far apart as possible and connect those two lines. Slide your ruler over, line them up, draw lightly so that way you can erase when your line is too long. If you draw with your pencil straight up and down, you won't go underneath your ruler. So on this side, I like to start at 1 inch, measure out 1 inch, and that will get me to 8.5 inches. Same thing over here, line your ruler up on the edge. 1 inch plus 7.5 is 8.5. Again, line your ruler up. Hold your ruler nice and wide so it doesn't move. Draw on the side of the ruler that you write with. Slide the ruler over. Same thing over here. I can go back and erase that now, or I can do that later. Then I need to make my lines. So to do that, I am going to line this up here. That first line lines up with the line that I already drew. Make a mark at 1/2 inch, and then I make a mark at 1 3/4 of an inch. So the line between 1/2 inch and 2. Slide my ruler over, 1/2 inch, or you can do math. 1 3/4. Slide your ruler over, 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, half, and then your 3/4 should be a 1/2 inch from the end of the line, which it is because this is 1 or 2 1/4. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom, do my lines again, line it up 1 3/4, slide 1 3/4, half 1 3/4. And then line them up and draw your lines. Okay, rotate your paper and do that same thing all over. 1/2, 1 3/4. Okay, so now if you want, you can color in these little squares. You can outline with, I use a Mama Sharpie or the middle Sharpie, the fine point Sharpie, or you can draw the boxes on the inside. So we're gonna start with that. So to start with, I wanna find the middle of this box. So I am going to draw from this corner to this corner. And I want to line them all up. They should, if you measured correctly, they should be pretty close. So I could go every big box diagonally. And then I need this line, and that is going to be centered as well. So I'm gonna line those up, but this time I'm not drawing a straight line all the way through the box. I'm gonna stop when I get to that diagonal line. Now we need to make the square. So to do that, I'm gonna line up all these middle lines and draw to the left. And then I'm gonna rotate, line them all up, and draw from that middle point down. Well, this is where I typically Sharpie. So I am going to grab my ruler and Sharpie all the vertical lines and all the horizontal lines, using my ruler to keep those lines nice and straight. If you use a ruler to draw the pencil line, use a ruler to draw the Sharpie line. Okay, and then from the center, we're going to trace this line going to the box. only this line. We are not doing the other two lines. Okay, I am going to Sharpie all the black parts, and then I will, you can pause it while I Sharpie this, or while you Sharpie yours, and then start playing it again when all those black are filled in. Okay, next, we are going to color these in. If you were in my classroom or have watched my video on shading, we are doing level 6, 7, or 8 in this side. Then you are going to use, you can use your finger or a blending tool and use the lead that you have here and push it over to this side. And then go back, when we're all done, we'll go back and clean up those edges and you won't notice that you even used your finger on it. If you need a blending, if you have a blending tool, or if you're in my classroom, I have a couple of these, but not a classroom set, so you'll have to come and get them from me. So then I color up and down on this side, and then sideways, sideways on this side. Again, using this lead, you are pushing it over here to shade the top. Okay, so I have gone ahead and finished coloring all of the sides as dark as possible. So next I am going to blend these colors, smear these colors all into the top to make this look three-dimensional, like shadows on the top. Notice I go up and down on the side and side to side on the top. Okay, and then the last thing you're gonna wanna do is clean up all the edges. So when you color, your hand smears it, and you want this to pop. So if you erase all the white areas then your little hallways or your cubes will pop out even more. Okay, so if you are in my classroom, I expect you to erase. I expect the edges to be pretty clean as you can get them. And I expect them to be your best effort. If you're not in my classroom, you should be doing your best effort too. I will link the original video in my description so that way you have it, but this is the step-by-step directions on how to make three-dimensional cubes.